This is 6 Minutes, the seriously international daily newscast. It's Thursday, March 13th. I'm Jacob Shropshire.
And I'm Anne-Sophie Goninet. It's a warm and cloudy afternoon on the island of Réunion, and the sun's coming up over the island of Barbados. Here in the Walconch newsroom in Paris, it's cold and cloudy. These are the latest headlines. Russia claims to have retaken the biggest town of the Kursk region ahead of ceasefire talks with the US. G7 foreign ministers meet in Canada amid tensions with Trump's foreign policy. And our daily quiz question comes from a brewery in Singapore. Russia says its troops have driven the Ukrainian army out of Sudzha, the biggest town in Russia's Kursk border region. The announcement came hours after a surprise visit from Russian President Vladimir Putin to Kursk. It was his first arrival in the border region since Ukraine's incursion last year, and the Russian president was publicly wearing military fatigues for the first time since the war began. Meanwhile, US officials have landed in Moscow to discuss a potential 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine.
Foreign ministers of the G7 countries are meeting for 2 days in La Malbaie, Quebec, after several weeks of tensions with US President Donald Trump over his contentious foreign policy and tariff impositions. This comes as the US president pledged to impose more tariffs after the European Union and Canada said they would retaliate against his 25% import taxes on steel and aluminum. Syria's interim president Ahmed al-Shara has issued a decree to form a national security council, something that didn't exist under ousted leader Bashar al-Assad. The council will help manage security and political policies, as well as challenges facing the state. Meanwhile, Canada's government announced plans to ease sanctions on Syria and to provide 84 million Canadian dollars, or $59 million US dollars, in new funding for humanitarian assistance.
Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, PIF, struck a deal to buy Pokémon Go, one of the best-performing mobile games in the world with 30 million monthly players. The PIF said it would buy the game from its current owner, San Francisco-based company Niantic, for $3.5 billion. The country has been taking an increasingly important role in the gaming industry, acquiring shares in major companies like Nintendo and purchasing some top games like Monopoly Go, which has generated more than $3 billion in revenue alone. Now let's take a closer look at what the international press is covering.
Karachi-based English-language daily The Express Tribune lends its front page to the end of the, quote, Jafar Express siege in the southwestern Baluchistan region of Pakistan, which saw separatist militants attack a train carrying an estimated 440 people, taking hostages and killing at least 21, and demanding the release of Baluch prisoners and activists. The Pakistani army ended the siege, killing 33 militants and rescuing more than 300 passengers.
Persian language outlet Kayan London has a piece about Saudi Arabia making moves in Lebanon. Jacob, walk us through the story.
Ahmad Rafat writes for the Kayan London about the long-standing battle for influence in Lebanon between Iran's Shia regime and the conservative Sunni monarchy in Saudi Arabia. This isn't the first time the Saudi crown has worked in Lebanese politics before, having been a hugely influential force in the 90s, which was cut off after the 2005 assassination of Rafiq Hariri, an influential Saudi ally in Lebanon. But now, the Saudis have another opportunity, with Lebanon going through a major economic crisis and the loss of regional power of Iran and its local proxy, Hezbollah. Saudi Arabia could provide alternate paths to fixing some of these problems, but they will have to beat out Iran, which isn't likely to give up what they have after losing a major regional ally in Syria.
French daily Le Figaro has a piece about the Parisian life of the alleged illegitimate daughter of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Known in France and on social networks under several false identities, Yelizaveta Krivonogich was believed to be born in 2003 from an extramarital relationship between a millionaire Russian woman and the Russian president. By all accounts, the 22-year-old daughter has been studying art in Paris and living a mostly discreet life, apart from an occasional post on social media.
And from German weekly Die Zeit, we have a piece about the science of boosting your energy levels to get more done in the day. The piece talks about the value of sleep, exercise, and resilience. Above all, though, it's about learning to be realistic and fitting health goals into your daily life.
We're closing things out today with our daily quiz question, which comes to us from a brewery in Southeast Asia. A microbrewery in Singapore has just entered the Guinness World Records. What record did it set? A. It serves 742 brands of beer. B. It can only accommodate one customer. C. It's the world's highest microbrewery. Or D. It brews the world's spiciest beer. The correct answer is C. The Singaporean Level 33 microbrewery was recently named the world's highest microbrewery by Guinness World Records. The venue, which opened in 2010, is located 33 floors up, hence the name, in Singapore's Marina Bay Financial Centre Tower. Its brewing equipment was too big to fit into the building's elevator and had to be brought up to the top floor by crane.
That's the latest from around the world. If you liked this podcast, we would really appreciate it if you could help us out with a follow, a share, and a 5-star rating on your preferred podcasting platform. For more of the best of the international press delivered exclusively in English, visit us at worldcrunch.com. We'll see you here tomorrow. À demain.